Good evening and welcome to the January 9th City Council meeting. And with that, Mike Urban, will you please call roll?
Thank you. Mayor Benjamin.
Present.
Councilmember Lira.
Present.
Councilmember Guido.
Here.
Councilmember Fajun.
Here.
Councilmember Parks.
Here.
Councilmember Waller.
Present.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Great. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everybody here for our first City Council meeting for January. And definitely want to welcome the new council members that are for here to join us. If we look under general announcements, first, today is the last day to apply for the vacant City Council Ward 1 position. Interested parties may submit applications until tonight at 11:59 through the city's website. There will be a celebration for our former Glenn Johnson. A community event will be held this Friday at SCL. You can drop in between 4 and 6, and there'll be a presentation that starts at 5:15. We have a number of boards, commissions, and committees that have openings on that. So applications can be considered for the Arts Commission, Cemetery Committee, and the Environmental Resilience Commission, and you can apply to those through the city's website. And speaking of art, and if we can put the slide up, I want to thank everyone that was involved with the new flood boards that we have along the river. We had 6 schools that had their students paint art on 17 boards that run from Porchlight Pizza to Thomas Hammer. There were 2 of the schools that weren't able because of the schedules to participate, but we'll be including them in another project, so they will be involved. And I definitely want to thank the teachers. They went out of their way. We had some logistical challenges with getting everything here in timely and some delays, and so it meant the students had to do their work much quicker, and so I appreciate all the teachers and students. And there were students that skipped recess and students that I was talking with Superintendent Maxwell, and he said, yeah, he was there at 8 or 9 at night one night, and the students were there painting, and so they definitely enjoyed it, so that's great. And thank you for Art Garrell and the M&O staff for their work in coordinating and mounting city flood boards. Continue on with public work. Obviously, with the weather everyone's seeing outside, we definitely have a possibility of snow in the forecast and also cold. It's a good time to familiarize yourself with the city's snow and ice control operation routes and the priority streets. You can see that by going to pullman.wa-gov/winter. And I definitely, as we've had the first snow, and just as I appreciate the number of our residents that get out there and go the extra mile and actually clean their neighbors' sidewalks. It's nice to see that. And for those that are looking for a way to help neighbors during the snow months, the Pullman Community Council on Aging coordinate volunteers to team up with seniors that need assistance with snow removal. And so if that's something that interests you, contact them. Continuing on with our seniors, the Pullman Senior Center is offering a new type of outing for active adults who enjoy thrifting. The Out Thrifting series will take participants to areas with a number of thrift stores, enjoy shopping and lunch. To register, find out more, visit the Senior Center website. Moving to our library, you can meet Lilac Services for the Blind in the Public Library on Thursday, January 11th at 1 o'clock. The Lilac staff will demonstrate assistive devices, provide independent living instruction, explain resources, and help improve quality of life for those with low vision or blindness. Lilac services are available at no cost to individuals with low vision or blindness who reside in eastern Washington counties, including Whitman, Adam, and Garfield. And the last thing I'd say under announcements on a personal note, I want to thank all the staff during this mayoral transition. The city has incredible and professional employees that I'm really proud to be the mayor, and thank you for all your work during this transition. Our first item after announcements, we have confirmation of appointments, of which you'll see there's a number of appointments. We have 8 different ones that are related to boards, commissions, and committees for filling positions, and so I would entertain motions on each one.
So moved.
So actually, we'll start. We need to do all individually, correct, Thad? So the first one is a motion to confirm the reappointment of Donna Potts to the Neal Public Library Board of Trustees with the term ending expiring December 31, 2029. If I could have a motion with that.
So moved.
Second.
We've moved in second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. The next is a motion to confirm the reappointment of Joe Callahan to Planning Commission with a term expiring December 31, 27.
So moved. Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Confirmed. The next one, a motion to confirm the reappointment of Mary Schweitzer to the Cemetery Committee with a term expiring December 31, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Motion to confirm the reappointment of John Anderson, Jennifer Hamilton, and Anita Hornback to the Historic Preservation Commission with a term expiring December 31, 2026.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
It's passed. You get an opportunity to get a lot of voting in this first meeting. You get used to it. A motion to confirm the reappointment of Alan Sutton, Ephraim Romas, and Libby Walker to the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's passed. A motion to confirm the reappointment of Mitch Chandler to Lawson Gardens Committee with the term expiring December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Great, it's passed. And a motion to confirm the reappointment of Tim Corridor, thank you, to the Law Tax Advisory Commission with the term expiring December 31, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. And the last, the confirmation appointments, a motion to confirm the reappointment of Linda Hamilton to Parks and Recreation Commission with the term expiring December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passed. And with that, I want to congratulate everyone that's been appointed to these boards, commissions. I appreciate your volunteer work in order to make Pullman better, and it's definitely appreciated. The next item we have on the agenda is a presentation, and it's kind of fun because this one actually, I'm the one that is presenting in this way. Since this is our first council meeting, we have some new council members. What I wanted to just to bring up and as a reminder that as a council, in addition to our code of ethics, we also this last year passed a code of conduct in which this code of conduct is, what we as a council felt that it was to lead our city in for the code of conduct that's important for the council, for the staff, and then also for the community as we're working together within the community. And if you look within the code of conduct, it does, and obviously the ones weren't here, but the rest of us were all involved in the passing of this one. We were very involved in it with this covenant of understanding, that of respect, that of making sure that people are prepared as it relates to speaking, so bring forth the different opinions, but acknowledge what you don't know, be clear and concise, disagree without being disagreeable, the willingness to listen, and then asking and celebrating successes. And with that, any questions anyone has or any comments that they have related to this code of conduct? I was really proud of the council when you passed this and the opportunity that it has for us to lead the way with our community. So, Councilor Fitzgerald?
Thank you. I realize that this code of conduct was passed before a few of us are here. Was there any conversation about accountability for members if they don't follow the code of conduct?
So what the accountability point was not talked about, but what this was talked about is setting the guidelines and what's expected. Then as we get onto the accountability piece, that's where normally in governing bodies, that situation, they'd probably look at it from a case-to-case basis, depending on what was said or what is or what actions are done. As it relates to, because this code of conduct applies not just to us as elected officials, but also staff, also to the community.
Thank you.
I don't have any, oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's
I'll raise my
Councilmember
hand. I don't have any comments, but I'm happy to see this being implemented. It really makes me feel like we can respect each other as human beings when we differ, and I'm really happy to be working with everyone here.
Great. Any others? If not, Mike, do you have anything else that you'd like to add to this?
No, I think when we bring on the additional council member to The opportunity to have that discussion as well is probably well in order.
Great, thank you. So next, we go on to public comment, and so this is, persons may comment on any agenda item that the city council will be taking final action on, so this would not be, there's another time for comment for things that aren't final action, but so this would be looking under the, any of the final action items that are related to the consent agenda or related to our regular agenda. Is there anyone that would like to provide public comment on any of those items? If not, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. These items are listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by a single motion of the City Council without separate discussion. I would entertain a motion to read the consent agenda by title only.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
With that, O'Sullivan, would you please read the consent agenda?
Thank you. Item 1 is a motion to dispense with the reading of the December 12th, 2023 meeting minutes and approve them as submitted. 2 is a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks numbered 111642 through 111661, electronic transfers 137, 138, 1084, 1090, and 1092 through 1097, payroll direct deposits numbered 89806 through 90151, totaling $1,620,197.43. Item 3, a motion to approve disbursements for payroll direct deposits number 90152 through 90189, totaling $104,032.40. Item 4, a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks 11162 through 11162, electronic transfers 1 through 9, 140, 1098, 1099, and 11011 through 1104 and 1106. Payroll direct deposits numbered 90190 through 90539, totaling $1,087,077.48. Item 5, a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks numbered 200885 through 200977, totaling $8,358,150.02. Item 6, a motion to approve disbursements for account payable checks number 200978, 201-025, totaling $199,794.23. Item 7, a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks numbered 201-0026 through 201-0105, totaling $378,913.91. Item 8, a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks number 201-0106 through 201-0205, totaling $1,292,517.85. Item 9, a motion to authorize a lodging tax grant to 2040 Wayfinding Committee / City of Pullman for an amount up to $9,000 for wayfinding signs. Item 10, a motion to ratify Amendment 2 to a water quality combined financial assistance agreement between City of Pullman and the Washington State Department of Ecology for the Decant Facility Project. Item 11, a motion authorizing purchase of 3 30-foot electric buses from BYD Coach and Bus LLC with 58% grant assistance from PTD 0621 and PTD 0625 via state purchasing contract 06719. Item 12, a motion authorizing an amendment to extend the contract 1 year with GMV Innovative Solutions to provide Pullman Transit's fixed route system. Item 13, resolution number R-01-24, a resolution adopting the North Arterial Technical Memorandum, providing for other matters properly related thereto. And finally, item 14, resolution number R-02-24, a resolution accepting a stormwater easement granted by Atani Land Company LLC, authorizing the execution of said easement and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Great, thank you very much. Are there any items which a council member would like to be pulled from the consent agenda for separate discussion? Hearing, the motion will be for approval of items on the consent agenda 1 through 14. Could I have a motion and a second for that?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Consent agenda passes. Next on to the regular agenda. First up, we have ordinance 24-1 and RJ Lott.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council, and welcome to the council, two new members. Good to see you here. This item on the agenda is an ordinance amending Title I of the city's code, Chapter 1.22, as it relates to the city hearing examiner. The construction code, as it currently exists, does not send appeals to the hearing examiner. And so this code amendment would allow the hearing examiner to hear those appeals. Currently, any appeals of the construction code go to the Construction Board of Appeals, which is a board which is assembled of 6 or 7 members of the community. So this is a much quicker, easier way to serve the community by the hearing examiner. If you recall, the hearing examiner was created back in 2022 and is regularly scheduled to meet the third Monday of each month. The hearing examiner is a knowledgeable land use attorney, which we've had under contract since creation and back in 2022. There currently are no pending appeals of the construction code, so this would be for any new moving forward. As a note, item number 2 on the regular agenda associated with this, which allows the Construction Board of Appeals, or the appeals of the construction to go to the hearing examiner. So they're related in a way. So at this time, staff recommends a motion to approve these duties, the appeals of the construction code, to go to the hearing examiner. Are there any questions?
Any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Move
For this
to
ordinance?
adopt ordinance number 24-01.
Second.
Could you read the ordinance in?
Yes. Ordinance number 4-01, and ordinance amending code sections 1.22.010, 1.22.020, and 1.22.080 as it relates to the hearing examiner.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up, RJ.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Second item on this agenda is related to the ones I just mentioned. This amendment to Title II, Sections 2.10 and 2.15, as it relates to the construction code. So this sends the appeals to the hearing examiner, which we just gave the hearing examiner authority here. Are there any questions on this section?
Not, and I know, RJ, you read the first one, and I missed that time. So all those in favor of ordinance 24-02?
Do we need a motion?
Do I need a motion for it? Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of ordinance 24-02?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passed. Next, these are ordinances, but they also involve the appearance of fairness doctrine for the actions that we're doing. So as it relates to this first ordinance, number 2403, an ordinance amending the zoning code classification from an R4 high-density residential to a C3 general commercial for the real estate located at the northwest corner of the intersection of Northeast Terraview Drive and Northeast Northwood Drive, containing 20,362 square feet. Before I have RJ start on this, we need to do a fairness of fairness doctrine. I have a series of questions, and what I'll do is I'll start with you, and Carlin will just work our way down. So I'll read a question, then each person can answer whether or not there's an appearance of that. So does any member of this council have knowledge of having conducted business with either the proponent or the opponents of this proceeding?
No.
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 Has any member of the council communicated with any proponent or opponent regarding the proposal that is the subject of this proceeding?
No.
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 No. No.
No.
Does any member of this council have either a financial or personal interest in the outcome of this proceeding?
No.
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 No. No.
No.
Does any member of the council know whether or not their employer has a financial interest in this matter or has an interest in the outcome of this proceeding?
No.
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 Does any member of this council live or own property within 300 feet of the area which is subject to this proceeding?
No.
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 No. No.
No.
Does any member of this council have any special knowledge of the substance or merits of this proceeding which would or cause the council member to prejudge the outcome of this proceeding?
No.
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 No. No.
No.
Is there a member of this council who believes they cannot sit or hear this matter fairly and impartially, both as to the respective position of the proponents and the opponents in this proceeding?
No.
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 No. No.
No.
And then for the audience, is there a member of this audience who, because of the appearance of fairness doctrine, wishes to disqualify any member of this council from hearing this matter? If so, please state the name of the council person and the reason or reasons you believe that the member should be disqualified because of the appearance of fairness doctrine. And I don't see any, so with that, R.J. Lott.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council, once again. This item on your agenda is an ordinance to amend the zone classification for R4, from R4 high-density residential to C3 general commercial for approximately 21,300 square feet located at the intersection of Northeast Terraview Drive and Northeast Northwood Drive. For reference, it's on the screen in front of you. This is the northwest quarter of the newer roundabout installed about a year and a half ago. The proposed zone change, like I said, was from high-density residential to general commercial. The applicant has not indicated a future intended use at this location. The property is owned by Tim Campbell, who is represented by Scott Sumner of Centier Engineering. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on this item back on November 29th, 2023. Scott Sumner represented the applicant and provided testimony. In addition to the applicant, there was additional testimony, including a written letter by the College Hill Association, represented by Allison Montrotolo, in support of this zone change. There was no testimony from neutral parties or from any of those in opposition to the zone change. The Planning Commission voted unanimously in favor of a recommendation of approval to the City Council. Are there any questions I could answer at this time?
Yes, Councilmember Weller?
Thank you. So the surrounding area is R4, R3, correct? Behind the change?
Yes, so the adjacent zoning is R4 north
Yeah.
to the east. The current zone of C3 exists immediately to the west.
Okay. And from what I understand, there's nothing really in that C3, correct?
Correct. As far as commercial uses, that's correct.
Okay. Is there any indication, there wasn't any indication why the change is wanted?
I think I could presume that it's a great location for commercial, and there's no intention to develop it as residential. The applicant, for the property owner, had indicated in the application that this was an error, and they originally did the rezone of C3, and it was intended to go all the way to Northwood. And that is this is intended to be a correction of that.
Okay, I just want to make sure, there's a lot of families, students, graduate students up in that area. I have some mixed feelings if there's some plan in the future, and I know from what you say there isn't. Providing, whether that's groceries or something along those lines would be nice, but at the same time, I'm not sure why now. When was the zone change for the C3s, the original?
I don't know if I have that in front of me, I'm sorry. Don't have that in front of me.
Okay. Okay, it's just more out of interest of why now, so than anything else, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think recent development across the street, I think there's increased interest of potentially some commercial uses at location.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
I would just say that I would hope that it would be perhaps a grocery or some other business would be available to surrounding residents, because there is no commercial anything up there as far as people being able to obtain groceries and their necessities, so. But it could also be a restaurant as well. So anyway, I think, I'm hopeful that it would be something to address the need of those sorts of needs up there.
Councilmember.
And I want to reiterate that, too. I know we can dictate what goes there, but we have identified that there is a food desert in that area, and out of social responsibility, I hope the developer takes that into consideration, because it's desperately needed in that area.
Yeah. Councilmember Delira.
Yeah, just as someone who in Ward 2, and just talking to people in the area, it is a lot of apartments with people there, and a lot of common themes that come up is having more things to do there. So hopefully, whatever gets placed there, that can serve that need, especially if it's opportunity to maybe place something food related. That would be nice.
Councilmember.
So RJ, just for clarification's sake, could you tell us exactly what C3 designates, what the types of enterprises that would fit into that particular category?
Absolutely, great question. So C3 really takes into account almost all general commercial uses. Anything from large scale, like Walmart, Safeway, to some small scale, like a walk-up coffee stand. With this only being 21,000 or so square feet, you could probably zoom just by scale what it could be. So perhaps a walk-up bagel shop or something like that might be a good at this location. So it really ranges. Uses on Grand and Bishop are in C3, so you can see essentially any type of commercial use is allowed in this zone.
Okay, and so this is basically west of the roundabout on Terraview, is that right?
Yes, this is the northwest corner of where that roundabout is. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Councilmember Parks.
Thank you, does the owner of this parcel also own the current C3 designated parcel?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion. Part of that motion, I believe, we need to also accept the finding of fact 1 through 24 and the concludes 1 through 5. Is that correct? Or do we just accept the motion?
I think you just accept the motion.
Oh, great. I just for clean. So, sorry, the resolution is before us.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Second, and I read it when we started.
Okay.
Or sorry, again?
It's ordinance number 24-03, ordinance amending the zone classification from R4 high-density residential to C3 general commercial for real estate located at the northwest corner of the intersection of Northeast Terraview Drive and Northeast Northwood Drive, containing 21,362 square feet.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed. Now, the next resolution that's tied to this one, I've been informed I have to do once again, do the appearance of fairness doctrine on this one. So this has to do with resolution number R 2324, resolution amending the official comprehensive plan map of the city of Pullman from a high-density residential to commercial for the real estate herein described located at the northwest corner of the Northeast Terraview Drive and the Northeast Northwood Drive, containing 21,362 square feet. With that, Carl, let's start with you with the appearance of fairness doctrine. Does any member of this council have knowledge of having conducted business with either proponent or opponents of this proceeding?
No.
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 No,
No.
No.
Has any member of this council communicated with any proponent or opponent regarding the proposal that is the subject of this proceeding?
No.
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 no,
No.
No.
Does any member of this council have either a financial or personal interest in the outcome of this proceeding?
No.
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 no,
No.
No.
Does any member of this council know whether or not their employer has a financial interest in this matter or has an interest in the outcome of this proceeding?
No.
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 no,
No.
No.
Does any member of this council live or own property within 300 feet of the area which is the subject of this proceeding?
No.
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 Does any member of this council have any special knowledge of the substance or merits of this proceeding, which would or could cause the council member to prejudge the outcome of this proceeding?
No.
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 Is there a member of this council who believes that they cannot see or hear this matter fairly and impartially, both as to the respective position of the proponents and the opponents in this proceeding?
No.
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 And for the audience, is there any member of this audience who, because of the appearance of fairness doctrine, wishes to disqualify any member of this council from hearing this matter? If so, please state the name of the council person and the reason or reasons you believe that the member should be disqualified because of the appearance of fairness doctrine. I don't see any. So with that, we're on to resolution number R-2324, resolution amending the official comprehensive plan map of the city of Pullman from high-density residential to commercial for the real estate here described located at the northwest corner of the northeast Terraview Drive and the northeast Northwood Drive containing 20,362 square feet.
Move to approve resolution number R03-24.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. Thank you. And next up, we have Edward Rankofer, resolution related, and I'll let you step into this one.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council. Wait for this to come up. There we go. The proposed subdivision before you and presented for consideration is Sunnyside Heights subdivision number 13. On this slide, you will see the proposed subdivision shown in blue is located southwest of Sunnyside Park, north of Center Street, and east of Windy Point Court. The developer is now ready to move forward with the final plat. This subdivision is the first of two proposed phases within the preliminary plat of Sunnyside Heights, number 13. The proposed subdivision, shown in blue, has a platted area of approximately 6.4 acres. The future second phase of the preliminary plat is shown in green. On this next slide, you will see there are 20 buildable lots that will be created, and one non-buildable lot, highlighted in red right about there, that will be dedicated to the City of Pullman for stormwater utilities, pending approval of the final plat. This subdivision also continues the westward progression of Panorama Drive, highlighted in yellow. Panorama Drive is dedicated to the public with the approval of the final plat. All of the subdivision requirements, all of the subdivision improvements are complete except for sidewalks. So to guarantee the construction of the remaining improvements and to warrant the maintenance of improvements, the developer has been made aware of the security that will be required, and a letter of direction has been executed and is attached in your council packet for reference. The deadline for sidewalk construction completion will be 1 year from council approval of the final plat. All applicable preliminary plat construction and design conditions are being satisfied with this plat and the construction of related improvements. Condition number 16, a new and unique plat name and number was not enforced due to the preliminary plat being approved as Sunnyside Heights number 13. Staff recommends council, by motion, approve the final plat of Sunnyside Heights subdivision number 13. I would be glad to answer any questions.
Is there any questions? Councilmember Weller?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I really appreciate you explaining the sidewalks. You know, it's been a huge emphasis for this council. One question I do have is I see a Teal Street coming off and with, well, questionable, not sure where that's going. Is it going to connect up?
I do know what the future plans are for the rest of that land there. It has not been preliminary platted as far as I know. Could be, have Clayton Ford come up.
All righty.
That's a great question, Nathan. So Teal Street, also another stub, kind of due northeast of here. So Teal will eventually kind of 90 and head off at a kind of northeast direction
You can
to
see it's
to
Mallard.
Teal, just off up there to the,
Okay, up in the north. Okay.
no, not to Mount, but to the northeast.
All right, so there's not a whole lot of connection between all of these streets, is there? No.
No.
So it's kind of a maze once you get in there, and you want to make sure that you can't connect to pretty much anything else.
No, the second phase will connect through to Panorama Drive,
Uh-huh.
if you see there in green.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what was approved
Okay.
by preliminary plat.
Yeah, and with Mallard Court, is that something that's also going to be somehow connecting into future number 14? Hey,
Also
Clayton,
something
there we
I
go.
do not have all the
That's all right, that's all right.
Another fun question, Nathan. So Mallard Court will be extended, but it will end at a cul-de-sac similar to Isla Court and Dominic Court is what the developers planned there.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, both of you. I know one of the challenges, especially as you get into some of these areas, is egress, and especially when we have, fire responding to some of the areas. So I know this is how it was laid out, but maybe in the future being able to see how we can cross-cut around some of these properties. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck for a bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councilmember,
So my question has to do with the extension of Panorama, and will that be open for transit during the construction process? That to get to the other side of Panorama, you have to drive all the way around to get there. There's not a clear shot from one side of Panorama to the other. With this connection, will that be open during construction?
I do not believe so.
it's not a
And
road yet.
not at this time. They will only build, and it's already, the infrastructure's already been placed, only goes to where you see the split between the future Sunnyside Heights subdivision number 14 and where 13 is.
Okay,
So it ends at the blue-green change there.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
any other? If not, I entertain a motion for Resolution R0424.
Move to adopt?
Second,
With that, if you could, resolution, please.
Resolution number R-04-24, a resolution approving the final plat of Sunnyside Heights subdivision number 13 and authorizing the mayor and the Finance and Administrative Services Director to sign the final plat.
All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now on to discussion items. First up, we have Valerie Weber with a Water Smart Water and Energy Efficiency Grant application. Valerie.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council. As Mayor Benjamin said, I'm Valerie Weaver. My title here at the city is Grants and Special Projects Manager, which just came into existence about 2 months ago. Also here present is Art Garrow, Maintenance and Operations Supervisor, who will be able to answer perhaps any more technical questions that I might not be able to. We are here today to hopefully get your approval to proceed with preparing a grant application package for the Water Smart Water and Efficiency Grant fiscal year 2024. This might be familiar and a refresher to some of you who have seen this previously. So Water Smart is administered by the Bureau of Reclamation, whose purview covers these 17 western states of the contiguous U.S. And as everything needs to be an acronym, we have The SMART in Water Smart stands for Sustain and Manage America's Resources for Tomorrow. And the objectives of this particular grant that the Bureau is looking to provide financial assistance for are projects that are going to conserve and use water more efficiently, implement renewable energy components, mitigate risk of future water conflict, and other things pertaining to resilience and sustainability. And so the particular project that we are talking about seeking funding for is called Advanced Metering Infrastructure. You'll hear me refer to that probably mostly as AMI. And that is a municipal metering technology that is listed in the grant information as one of the eligible project types. And several other entities have been awarded the grant previously for implementing this technology, upgrading to this system. So there's a little bit of a graphic here about how AMI works, and I can talk through that just a little bit. So at the water meter, there on the left, that's where data is collected. It's a smart meter, and it's sent wirelessly to a data collector located at perhaps towers, water towers, other city property yet to be determined. From the data collector, it's sent to the utility, the city, at regular intervals, and that can be hourly, twice hourly, much more frequently than we have currently, which is monthly. The city receives that information, and it can be made available to customers directly online in a secure portal. So, and then it's also available on the billing statement. The city has been planning to upgrade to AMI for quite some time now, and it's been on the capital improvement program, noted to be partially grant funded through this. And the scope of the project is going to involve all of the water meters throughout the city, bringing them up to this technology. Currently, as I mentioned, they're only read once a month by city staff, and that's done a couple of different ways. Some of the meters are still analog, and they have to be read manually, going to the actual meter box, opening the lid, and reading it by a staff member. The rest of the meters are read by driving by in a car with a receiver that picks up one-way communication from the meter. Still, city staff are driving throughout town to read every meter that way. So the project will involve retrofitting some meters that have AMI capability but need a transmitter installed, and then also actually replacing many meters with AMI-capable meters and transmitters, and then installing data collectors at appropriate locations and implementing an online customer portal. Oops. Some of the reasons this is beneficial and has been implemented by more and more jurisdictions include that it is going to give us a fully connected system, giving us real-time water data usage to both staff and customers, as opposed to our once-a-month readings on our bill right now. Customers can monitor and manage their water use. You can go online and set thresholds, set notifications. If your pipe freezes in the middle of winter and your basement's flooding, you might be able to know that sooner than you would if you were on vacation and it was filling up. Significant water conservation is shown through AMI technology. It's going to, through the leak detection is a big part of how it conserves water, and then also customer awareness. Being aware of how much water you're using is shown to lead to conservation. It's also energy saving through, makes the water system more energy efficient, leads to less demand for pumping, and also reduces greenhouse gas emissions by eliminating the need for those cars to drive all over town reading those meters. And the water conservation and these benefits are essential for our community, for our aquifer system, as we know that that is declining and has been a topic of conversation for a long time, and we want to help contribute to stabilize that precious water supply. Regarding the grant funding, it is a 50% cost share, so the federal agency will pay up to 50% of a total project cost, not more. And our portion, 50%, will be allotted by the funds that are already set on the capital improvement program. So the upper level of funding maxes out at $5 million. They break it down into a couple different groups there. It basically depends on your specific project, and the projects can go up to 3 years. So the last time that we estimated the total project cost, that was in July of 2022, and it was at $3.5 million. So in that case, we'd be potentially looking at a $1.75 million cost share. And the Public Works Department is planning to do this upgrade either way, essentially, and we would love to only have to pay for half of it. There's an opportunity here to share the cost with federal funds, and we would like to leverage taxpayer dollars and make that go farther. So without the grant funding, the project would likely be stretched out over 6 to 7 years, as we'd have to be paying for that ourselves and spread that cost out over more years. And the labor to do the work would have to be accounted for with maintenance and operations staff, and also accounted for with that workload. So with the grant funding, we would hire a contractor to come in and install the devices and complete the project in a much timelier manner and get this really going quicker. So this has been applied for in the past with council's approval, and so staff is now back to get your authorization before applying once more. So although we were not awarded the grant previously, we've gotten some constructive feedback, and we've also added to the efforts in the grant application team. So we're feeling confident, and we really want to try for this again. So we are seeking your approval, seeking your input. We've been working toward a preparing an application to submit before the February 22nd deadline, but we need your approval to proceed with that. And we would like to propose bringing you a draft of our application, mostly complete at that time, for your February 13th council meeting for authorization on the consent agenda. And so, yeah, we're requesting your direction regarding our proposed plan to apply for this water and energy efficiency grant. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you so much for that. It was really informative and very clear. My question is, since the evaluation of the need was done over a year ago, and we have added homes since then, are we, do you know, would we be applying for the tier 3 up to the 5 million, probably?
That's a good question. So yeah, that goes for group 2 or group 3 million or 5 million. We are still working on elaborating on the budget of what that would look like this year, the total project cost. And so up to 5 million in funding. So that would be 50% of a $10 million project would be the 5 million, right? So
well, it says up to.
Up to, so it could be 2 million and one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we could potentially be moving up into that third bracket with the time that's passed, inflation, cost of materials, cost of the work. That's certainly a possibility. That we would end up falling into that bucket.
And do you know, are there different, I mean, is there a difference in your process or the way they look at our application depending on which tier we're applying for?
No, they really don't. The instructions and the criteria and the approach to the application probably wouldn't change, and they don't differ in their instructions or what they ask for the different groups. And actually, I don't even think they ask you to indicate your group. They basically will. They just say what amount you're asking for, and then sort of an automatic falling into that. Probably the higher the amount, the more competitive, or the
That's what I guess.
harder to fund that many larger amounts.
Sure.
But yeah.
All right, thank you.
Councilmember Bajarin?
Thank you, Valerie. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
You mentioned that we were unsuccessful in applying for this in the past, but did receive some valuable feedback that we're applying this time around. What was some of the feedback that we received, why we were unsuccessful in the past?
Yeah, so like I said, I've been in this position for 2 months, but, so I wasn't involved directly with that. But I do understand there was a change in the scope of work. I think initially it was a phased project, and we changed to be citywide, not phase it out, to get it all done quickly. And that helps with the measurement of how much water we're actually going to save, because they do ask you to go into detail of providing calculations for how much water this is planned to save and how much energy this is looking to save. So we've worked on getting that amount to be a competitive amount, and some of the criteria have also changed this year. There was a previous evaluation criteria where you got more points if your cost share was, if you paid more of a percentage. If we said, oh, city's paying 70 rather than 50, that could get you a few more points, and that's gone away. I don't know if it's just all 50-50, or if they kind of determine based on what funding they have and what are the other projects. So that's one difference as well.
Your financial mention.
Yeah.
Councilmember Weller?
I gotta say, awesome job. So I know, you're just now, 2 months, a lot to take on.
Yeah.
On job, and thank you, Art. You're going to make a huge difference, and I just appreciate what you're doing, so thank you.
Great. Councilmember Rito?
Congratulations, Valerie, on your new position. We're excited to have a grant manager. As you know, a lot of people are interested and looking forward to working with you.
Yeah.
I guess my question, if we've applied for this before, there is a definite, I would say, interest and support for this project, and people want to see it get done.
Yeah.
So to me, applying for possible grant funds is a no-brainer, but I heard you say that this is on the CIP and it's going to happen no matter what. That's the assurance I want, because we've been talking about this for a long time. We got to get it done.
Yeah. I agree, and we're gonna try again here. I'd like to try again, and I would leave it to the Public Works Director, Public Works Department, on their actual decision to, are we gonna hit the ground running either way? Once we find out whether we've been successful or not this time, or what are the next steps. But everything I hear is that this is a priority. Everything I've heard from them is, they really want to get this going, so. Yeah.
Good. Any other discussion? And this is just a discussion item, so it's really more consensus. Mike?
Right. Just looking consensus to have Valerie take her team through the next few steps to get it all the way to the point of a consent agenda item on the 13th, so we can make timely application. There is a budget component to it, so we certainly bring that to council.
Great. Great.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we look forward to seeing you back in a few weeks.
All right, thank you,
Thank you
Council.
much. Next item, discussion item, city council agendas. Mike Urban.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council. So this agenda item tonight is centered around agendas, specifically the order of the agenda, what's on the agenda, what's not the agenda, what's not on the agenda. This has been a topic of discussion a little more regularly over the last few months. So I wanted to bring this back again. This originally started in 2021 as a council goal, and I did some initial research and sent out email to council with 8 different types of agendas, like here's how some other cities are doing things for your consideration. That email, same email has been passed forward from October of 21 and in January of 22 and April of 23 and just last week to the new council members, and a reminder as this. So you've had an opportunity to look at our agenda, hear from some folks in the community, see what some other people are doing. And this discussion topic is, how would you like to proceed or not on this type of a thing? And I'm here to offer anything that I can to help you with your discussion.
Thank you very much. And this is something that I know for a number of people it's important, and it's also important for me, and so I'm glad that we have this back on the agenda. as we start discussion, I wanted to reference three things that, just as a part of this discussion, that I hope is part of it. One is our public comment is split right now between beginning and end, and I think it makes sense to move it earlier as a part of that. The second thing is there technically is no place in the agenda for city council member comments or statements. It's new business, and actually for business, you need someone to send it in order to start the discussion. So I feel that there's value in us having a space in the agenda for city council member statements where if there's something that they'd like to talk about. And then the third one is that, as I've looked at, is we haven't had consistent committee reports, so our boards, commissions coming forward, and I think it'd be nice to have an area within the agenda that is actually for committee reports, and then having a timely reports where we hear from every one of our boards and commissions on a timely basis. So those are three items, just as I've thought about and looked at the different ones that I feel that there's value on, but I wanted to open up to the whole council. This is a discussion item, and really I believe what staff's looking for, kind of.
And this is more probably, it's just since I've been on for the last 2 years, I always found it very confusing under new business that it says how to introduce new business. Is that like an instruction on how to introduce new business to a council member, or it's just never been clear to me. So making that clearer, what we have in mind, and that was the first time I understood it from Mayor Benjamin, as far as that's our opportunity, the council members, to introduce new business, but it feels like a weird statement to say how to introduce new business under there. So that's more a pet peeve of mine. But those are my two biggest items. I did look at other examples and appreciate you sending those to us. I don't have real strong feelings about a particular format that is used by a different council, but I feel very strongly about moving the comment to the beginning.
I would concur with that as well, as long as I've been on council, and that's been a while, as Nathan knows. Always had the public comment at the end of the meeting, and I always felt that that's somewhat awkward and not very courteous to our citizens, and I think we need to have that important input up front, and so I concur with that adjustment.
Councilmember Parks?
Thank you. Yeah, I concur with that. And regarding committee reports, I really like that idea, because the committees I'm on, it's actually come up that, should I, I would like to share, usually there's a question or something within that committee, say the library board, then just come back to the city administrator and ask him, but maybe just even to give a date as to, hey, we're getting new letters on the building. That's exciting stuff.
That was exciting.
In
That is
library
very
world.
exciting.
And to let the public know too, before it happens, or, so, but obviously anything. So I like that idea of integrating that into our agenda, sure. Also definitely want, a lot of these Wenatchee, they have it right at the beginning, the public comment area, and what you commenting on, excuse me. So those are the two things that I would like.
Councilmember DeLira?
Yeah, I guess also to echo what everyone has said, I'm also very enthusiastic of moving the public to the front, and maybe also changing the title of it. One of the things I noticed in some of the examples is it's called citizens comment, so kind of making it explicit that this is the opportunity for the community to come in and comment. So maybe the title change might also be very helpful.
Any others? Councilmember Weller?
Thank you, Mr. Well, I concur. I think everything that's already been said, absolutely. And I was looking at the Mount Vernon one, because of course our esteemed Mike Urban served there. But I do like what Councilmember DeLira said regarding the citizens' comments. and then possibly flowing into committee reports or something along those lines. I know that's something that Moscow, when I attended some of theirs, that's what they did. So it'd be a hybrid of kind of some of those. I definitely agree. The citizens' comments, changing that name so it's for the citizens, I think that would be really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Just for the benefit of the audience and the viewing, I pulled some cities. I pulled ones that were close, Moscow, Lewiston, Clarkston, and then a couple of our comparables that are certainly in the area to Walla Walla, Wenatchee, and Cheney. And then I really looked for, okay, what else is out there that's a little different? And I happen to be very familiar with Mountain serving 2 terms on their council, so I thought it was worth a look. And just so happened Lake Stevens was just different enough too. It gave you guys a real strong look at what some different ones look like, but also I think you saw all the similarity that those public comments were moved way up to the front.
Yeah.
So certainly I got some notes here.
Okay, is that enough information for you?
It is, and if it pleases the council with the information, would you like me to go back, start carving out what an agenda would look like, bring that back for further discussion, or bring it back as a resolution for maybe some changes? With the next meeting that we would be having would be the 30th for this discussion. So if you were to adopt it then, it would probably take effect at the next meeting on the 14th of February, versus if you wanted me to bring back a sample resolution where I could work with the mayor on, if you adopted it the 30th of January, or
January.
yeah, then it would take effect the 14th, where, I'm sorry, the discussion on the 30th would mean I'd have to bring it back the 14th of February, and it wouldn't take effect until the end of the month. So,
And you gave over the resolution if we want some little changes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never so married to my language in a resolution that it's not with a little bit of update, but we can add some things in there too, like just if there's a public hearing, here's where it would normally happen, keep that up to the front as well. Consent agenda, regular agenda, appointment of folks, the things that we normally deal with,
Yeah.
because that would need to be the complete.
Yeah. I would say resolution. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's bring it back as a resolution then, as those,
So bring it back as a resolution
Yes.
on the regular agenda on 30th, and my feeling, my sensitivity meter will be off if anybody wants to make any changes.
Okay.
and then it would be implemented for the next meeting after that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. The next item we have is new business, and I understand, Mike, Urban, you do have new business to bring before us, so we'll start with you.
Sure. Thank you. Over the last week, 10 days, we've been getting some questions regarding the Project Downtown bid, and particularly the bid schedule, and staff's been having some conversations with prime contractors. And some of the things that we've been hearing kind of manifest themselves today a little bit more as well. We had the pre-bid meeting in this room at 10 o'clock this morning, and a couple of the primes came and said, this is a really great project. We're very interested in giving you a competitive bid on it. The holidays kind of put us back time-wise a little bit, so we're going to really struggle to get this thing submitted by the 18th, and to some people that might be a jumping-off point because of that. So I wanted to let the council know that that is a discussion that's been having from several of the primes, reputable, that we know very well. And I wanted to see if that was a concern enough to have us slide the calendar back a little bit and give them an extra week, which is what we're hearing, or if you wanted us to charge ahead at the same speed that we're going.
And because this was originally adopted as a resolution, is that correct?
There was originally a motion made back in December giving us specific things to go and do as far as changing a few things. And since this was discussed as far as what a calendar would look like, I wanted to bring this back to see if there was any changes that the council would like to instruct staff to do. We did talk to our consultant, and if we did an addendum to this bid, it could be updated as early as tomorrow. Sean, Clayton, did I miss anything on? No, okay.
Okay. And because it was done as a motion, this is something that we are able to change. And Mike, just if you can talk some, there's question about, are we, because we put out an RFP at a certain date, are we bound by that date? Or is this something that is acceptable to extend or not?
Right now, the bid document says that we will be putting bids on the 18th at 10 a.m. in this room. And if we did an addendum to the bid document for a different time and date, as is being suggested to us, that would be the new piece.
With that, Councilmember Parks?
Are we being so are you saying move it from the 18th to the 25th? That's 7 days?
That's
Or-
what we're being, that's the discussion that's been going on out there. I'd call it this side of a recommendation, but
And will that have any negative impact on moving forward, time-wise, with,
extending it a week?
yes?
It will have a unintended consequence that the day we'll be opening those bids, if you switch it to the 25th, is, 10 a.m. At 3 o'clock that day, we publish the agenda for the 30th, and there's absolutely no way my staff can turn this around and get it on the agenda for the 30th for award. So we're going to have to consider a special meeting to award that in proportion as well.
Oh, thank you, that's helpful.
But a week,
But as far as impacting the downtown business, that, the whole thing studying and all of that, we still don't know that. We wouldn't know either way, because until we secure a contract, then that's when we will start dig into those details.
exactly.
Right, thank you.
Other questions? Comments? Megan?
Well, I'm prepared to move forward with changing the date, as long as we clarify that it's not going to impact the start date of that project itself.
So to clarify, you would want us to change the date by a week, but tell them they still have to start, because we don't know when any of the contractors want to actually start. I don't think a week's going to change their mobilization.
Right, and that's understanding.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that we need to change that. I just wanted to reiterate what Councilmember Parks is saying. So yes, and if we have to have a special meeting to do that, to award the bid, then fine with that.
Absolutely.
If it pleases the council, then can we handle this in 2 motions? So we can take care of the piece first, which is to extend the, create the addendum, extend the opening 1 week, same time, same place, January 25th, 10 a.m. in this room. And then we can take the special meeting piece in a separate action right afterwards, because I know you'll have to look at your schedules.
Yeah. Does someone want to make the motion?
Okay, so the first motion is move to approve the moving of the bid opening date from January 18th to January 25th.
Second.
Any discussion?
Actually, real quick.
Councilmember Weller?
So I just want to make sure, are we favoring specific contractors by making this move?
We've heard this from no less than 3 contractors.
Okay.
Yep, no less than 3 contractors. There's no favoritism. I would take it a step further and say they were suggesting rather adamantly that it might be the difference between them bidding on it or not.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was great, okay.
Okay, with that, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then we'll look to the second part of when do we bring it back to council?
Sure. Let's talk about schedule compression. As I mentioned, getting this on an agenda for the 30th is just absolutely too heavy of a lift. We believe that the soonest we would be able to get this on a special meeting agenda, considering all the work that needs to be done and creating resolutions and verifying bids, and, the more that come in, the more work it's going to take. I mean, if there's 150, obviously, it's 10. So talking to staff and thinking about what the reality of this might look like, I think the soonest you could hold a special meeting is the 2nd of February, which is a Friday. And certainly these special meetings don't have to be in the evenings, it can be held during the day. Outside of that, certainly the 5th of February would certainly work as well as the 6th. Now, everybody, you're heading to Olympia on the 7th and 8th, and pushing it back to the 9th, I think, might affect the start date. So staff has some strong feelings about the 5th and the 6th, and we can make the 2nd happen if it was absolutely necessary, but it would be a heavy lift. Plus, we need to put together the agenda in a timely manner so you guys can look at it. If it happened on the 2nd, there is no question you'll be getting the agenda 24 hours in advance, but no more. According to state law, you have to have it at least 24. We would need all of that.
And so with what you're for a special meeting, then we would do it, so we'd be looking at either Friday, February 2nd, Monday the 5th, Tuesday the 6th, and then sometime during that day. So it doesn't necessarily need to be in the evening. In fact, for staff, it's better for not to be during the day, but we'd have to look at schedule. So,
In all reality, you can put on the weekend if you want. He says that is true, but
I'm fine with the 5th or the 6th.
Yes, I would be too, and it doesn't matter what time.
and no, speak, you
So,
need
yeah,
you
yeah,
need
I
to
would,
speak up.
I would need
Each
to.
person has different schedules.
I would prefer not in the day. I do have a full-time job on campus, but I can't ask for it off if in the lone person. But I do have 8 to 5.
I can also do the 5th and the 6th.
Would a lunchtime for you?
I could just ask for the whole day off. It'd be no problem. So.
Well, no.
Okay.
This is a very,
it'll be the only agenda item on
it's the
special
only,
meeting.
it's a very,
All right, lunch would be fine then, yeah.
yeah.
How does that work with staff being in the room at the lunch hour? Or will they be here?
We can eat before or after.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, that's okay with you guys.
Sean's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
You're like, what?
I could
Or-
miss a meal.
Or we just
so-
order pizza. No. Okay, so I guess we need to
We need
choose.
a motion.
So then that would mean noon on the 5th or noon on the 6th. If it's noon on the 6th, I will work staff to get a timely agenda item by 3 o'clock on Thursday like we usually do, because that gives us a little more time. But if it's on the 5th, I might ask for a little grace. It might come out Friday morning.
Delara.
Yeah, so I guess this is a question, still learning how special meetings work. So the purpose of this special meeting is to decide on the awarding with the specific bid we're going to push forward.
Correct. So staff would to us a recommendation. Based on the bids, they would then bring their recommendation on which one to accept, or not that we want to say reject, but their motion for us to take action.
Gotcha.
And then from there, we would then review that in order to, either agree with staff, or there might be questions that we have that go deeper.
Gotcha. Oh. Another
I'm sorry.
question. Sorry. And then also not sure about how this is logistical question about special.
Is required now, as of 2022, at regular meetings.
Yeah.
that provision does not exist for special meetings.
So the special meeting you can only do is listed on the special meeting agenda. So if on the special meeting agenda, public comment is listed as a part of it, then yes. And if that's the case, then not sure if a lunch hour, I mean, we'd have to look, have at timing for that.
Thank you. That was helpful.
So I hear your preference would actually to be on the 6th, just to give staff as much time as possible in order to prepare the documents they need to do. So if we're looking at Tuesday, January 6th.
February. Excuse me.
February 6th
Sorry.
at noon for the meeting. Does that work with everyone's schedules? Yes. Okay, if that's the case, I'd entertain a motion because we need a motion for that piece.
Move to hold a special meeting on February 6th at noon.
Second.
Do you need anything else with the motion?
Nope.
You don't need to have it itemized as to
Like
what
regarding,
content of the meeting is.
sorry, I should have said.
Yeah, I gathered it from the conversation, but if we could clear up the motion to be more specific, we would appreciate that.
Okay. So move to hold a special meeting on February 6th, 2024 at noon to award the contract for the downtown Pullman project. Is that good?
Or not.
Or,
Or
Yeah,
not?
okay.
Oh, second?
And there's a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Okay.
opposed? Okay,
We'll get cracking on that. Thank you very much.
great.
And, okay.
The staff will work on that. And I appreciate, council, this is something that was brought today as staff is working very hard in order to make this a successful project. And with the feedback they received, that's why they wanted it brought here. And unfortunately, it only happened this afternoon, this, so there wasn't notice that could be brought to council related to anything else. So with that, we now have our public comment time, an opportunity for public to comment. It's not intended for a discussion. If you would like to provide public comment, if you please come to the podium, and if you could provide your name and address, just so we have that for our record in the minutes. Is there anyone that would like to provide any public comment? And with that, for 3 minutes, please. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you. My name is CJ Robert. I live at 560 Southeast Dexter Street. I apologize for my appearance. I didn't have power but anyway. My name is CJ Robert, and I own 3 businesses in downtown Pullman. Tonight, I am speaking as one of the many businesses yearning to be heard and listened to in regards to the impact that the proposed downtown Pullman project will have on our livelihood. Being a Coug and a part of this community saved my life in 2016, and since then I have dedicated every waking moment, blood, sweat, tears, and every dime I have made since into giving back to this community and making it better. To think that after everything that has happened to my family and I in the last 4 years, from having to totally rebuild our entire lives into creating the #1 dog cafe in the entire United States, and a nationally recognized brand, then to be hit with arguably was the most economically devastating event to happen in the last 100 years, after barely being able to keep my doors open, even with financial help from the government. Yet through all of that, we continued to pound the pavement and try our best, all while I have been trying to survive medically due to my chronic illness that now requires me to live off an IV permanently. Even then, we were able to survive, and think that the final nail in the coffin wouldn't have been from all that, but it now is because of being lied to for over 3 years by the city. My family may lose everything because of this project. For over a year, downtown businesses have been ignored and merely told that it was too late to address most of our concerns because the project was already at 90%. Countless businesses and community members have reached out publicly and privately to address a multitude of issues in which I have condensed to a list which I can make available to each of you right now via email. Most importantly, that includes trenchless piping replacement. None, I repeat, none of the 20-plus items have been addressed to this day. I am tired. I'm tired of trying to save my businesses, and I am not alone in this. Please, please, please address the concerns and stop listening to city staff blindly. I'm begging you to come up with a comprehensive plan that addressed traffic, parking, and explored all avenues to mitigate negative effects of this plan, like cure-in-place piping, blast-in piping, or other similar technologies. Please do not
Entertain a motion to adjourn.